Hey guys, how's it going? Aaron here, back in the sunny shop. So I just wanted to give some updates. I know it's been a while since I've been around and just have had other things to do. My day job pays better than YouTube, of course. So I've been focusing on some things with work and just kind of been bummed out about the world. So just haven't had a lot of motivation to come out here, but did want to give some updates. What I've been showing you here is a new camera stand for me to help film YouTube videos. One of the things that's really tough to film is machine work when you're trying to use the machine. And that's because the tripod legs kind of stick out right where your knees need to be. And I finally came up with a good solution to that. This is called a studio stand. This one is made by Cambo. These are extraordinarily expensive. They're meant for really high-end cameras to sit on, large format cameras to do product shoots for major corporations, and they make you a lot of money when you're using them the way they're intended. But this one was used, I got it on eBay, actually paid more for the freight than I did for the stand itself. But anyway, these things are handy because they are counterweighted. So inside the column here is a bunch of weights. This thing's, I think, 6 inches in diameter, so it's pretty enormous. It's heavier than I was anticipating when I paid for it, but that's all right. So because of the counterweighting, it's really easy to move up and down. And so getting a different camera angle is really easy, which is pretty nice. And then I just made an adapter plate out of some cold rolled flat bar. And then I've got a stand for my mic, and then a stand for my light. And then of course, this is just my Noga magnetic base for my camera. The idea here is I will be able to make better videos more easily because that arm sticks out and there's no worry about the camera being too loose on there or anything. I can get up nice and high, and I can get swung out over the lathe or over the mill without the camera rattling or being in harm's way. So anyway, just a little update there. Some shop equipment that's not machine related, but it is channel related. One of the projects I've actually been working on and just haven't showed the film yet is kind of an ambitious project for me. I'm basically taking this 4.5-inch Wilton vise, and I'm gonna do a single video that's nice and quick, showing from rags to riches, basically. I'm gonna make this thing as nice as I possibly can. I did turn this section here. It was worse off than was in worse condition than I first thought. So it's turned nicely, but the repairs I had to do to get rid of the gouges and everything, you can see that looks pretty poor. So what I'm gonna do is actually send it to Avon, and he's going to spray weld this for me and make it nice and shiny and like new. And then we'll continue on with making some other improvements and restoration there. I made a little mounting puck arbor thing here, and that was for mounting this end in the vise, or I'm sorry, in the lathe chuck, so that this could be turned. There's nothing to easily grab onto here without something like this. So today's project, what I'm going to show you is we're going to go ahead and take this off, and because I had to get this running true with the body of the vise slide, I had to bore out quite a bit of material, and so the actual spindle won't fit in there anymore because that was machined in 2 separate operations. This was done separately from this end, and because of that, this was over 100 thousandths off concentric with the slide. For mounting my little arbor here, I just used the holes that were already in the vise face here. So they're not concentric with the bore now that I've made it concentric with the slide. So what we'll have to do is drill those through, plug them with a little piece of cast iron, and then machine this face nice and smooth again. But the first thing we're gonna do is make a bushing for inside of here so that the spindle is now centered, but also doesn't have a bunch of free air on the sides. So as you can see, there's a ton of play, and what we want is almost none. So I think what we're going to do is we'll make it a press fit on the OD, the bushing that is, and make it, I don't know, I don't think we want it too tight, but I would imagine 5 thousandths would probably be acceptable on the ID of the bushing to ride right here. And that'll give us a nice smooth fit so that when you spin the spindle and open and close the vise, you'll get a very nice smooth feel, and it won't run all clanky like some Wilton vices do. Wilton vices, I mean, I love them. They're beautiful. The closed design makes them easy to maintain. You don't have to clean chips and dirt and grime out of the grease on the screw very often. But they're not made all that well, to be honest with you. I love them, but they made them to be used in, they made them to be used, really. So they didn't always take a whole lot of time and care to make them perfect. It was not practical for the money they were charging and the use that they were intended to have. So anyway, let's take some measurements, and then we are going to use a piece of material that is the most expensive I've ever bought. This is a big piece of 954 aluminum bronze, 3 inches diameter by 13 inches long. Normally I would look for this kind of thing on eBay. You can normally find a little chunk for pretty reasonable money, and make your part, just buy oversized and then make your part out of a drop. But I couldn't find, I looked for a couple of weeks on eBay and nobody had exactly what I needed. So I went ahead and bought a brand new piece. This is not cheap stuff, but making a couple of bushings out of it over time, it's gonna last a long time if that's what I use it for, or if half of it ends up being a long bushing of some kind, it'll be worth the money. But right now it's very expensive to just make one part out of. Got my 4-jaw chuck in the lathe from when I was doing the body of the slide of the vise, which is good because I don't really want to cut this thing into chunks and then end up with a bunch of useless pieces that I just end up throwing away money. So even though that's a ton of stick out, this is 3 inches in diameter, so it's going to be fine for me to do what I need to do. I'm not going to take any big 1/2-inch cuts or anything. As you can probably guess, this piece of material is not going to be very round. It's not going to be very straight. Loosen your lows, tighten your highs, right? All right, so at number 4, we're pretty much on opposite side. We're within 1/1000th. Jaw 3, we're at -2. Opposite side, we're at -2. So I think if we can live with that and get a fairly similar run out on the end, I think that'll be fine. Messed around with it a little bit more. It's just not going to get that, not going to run that true. Very, very close out here, or in here, but then out here I'm out, 20 thousandths or something like that. I think what we'll go ahead and do is face it off and put a center in there, and then we'll just clean up the outside for future use so that I don't have to fight it so much. I may regret that someday, taking off any material here, but future me will be mad at me. Today me won't be. So yeah, that's not even cleaning up a quarter of it. So we'll have to take more than that. Yeah, still only halfway. Yeah, wow. So yeah, this side is just super low. Let's see what I want to do. I think we'll just go ahead and let it cut. Bumped up the feed rate a little bit more. See what that does. Yeah, a little more than a third cleaned up, I guess. It's nice and shiny. It's a beautiful gold bar. Yeah, so this end almost completely cleaned up, so that's good. Hopefully it won't take too much more to get rid of this big valley. Oh, that's beautiful. So it looks like I've got 3 inches, 3 thou. So obviously that's not going to do me for a finished, length of material, because there are low spots still. But to be able to maintain about the nominal size of what I bought is pretty fantastic. Yeah, less than a thousandth taper, over 10 inches or so. Not too bad. Okay, let's make our part now. Got a fair bit to come off here, but again, not very much in this direction. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a 0 on the end. That's fine. some nice tinsel for the Christmas tree. Well, thanks for checking out this video. Got a little step done in this long project. I'm not going to bother putting this back in the machine and cleaning up this face, although that could certainly use the deburring, because all I'm going to do is push this in here, knock it in there with a little dead blow or something like that, and then this will get faced off along with, flush with this and the pins that I still have to make. So anyway, it's I think it's a successful part. I didn't check it on here yet. Let's see if it gives us our little bit of clearance around. Oh, I put it on with the burr. Oops. All right, there we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, perfect. Just a loose fit. It's not a ton of clearance, but it's not going to really rub. So yeah, I went ahead and put a center in there so that future Aaron has a support to start with that's concentric with the OD. But yeah, I'm not going to actually install this just yet because I want to wait until it comes back from getting the spray welding on the slide. Because if I put this guy in here, I'm going to have to remake this or at least modify it, and there's no real reason for that. Still got to, like I said, drill those out and plug them, and then drill new holes for the little collar that locks in the spindle. But anyway, thanks for checking out the video. Appreciate you guys watching. I know I don't always stay consistent with posting. It's just how life goes. Sometimes I get busy with work and come home at the end of the day, I'm exhausted, and I just don't feel like coming out here to film. Come out here and work all the time, but filming is a whole different beast. For those of you that create videos in the machine shop, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, hopefully I'll have some time and motivation to get out here a little bit more frequently in the next coming weeks and months. But if I don't talk to you real soon, we will see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.